Hi everybody! I know this is only my third review, but today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be looking at a free-to-watch independent animation, a web cartoon if you will. This is something I won't be doing all that often, if at all. Mostly because the world of web animation is made up of passion projects, rather than works published for monetary gain. Not only that, but web animation is typically made by either a single person or a small group of people, with the funding typically coming out of the creator's own pockets. Put simply, I avoid talking about web animation because I can't get it on DVD. That and studio animation tends to be more polished than web animation, and I feel bad if I'm bashing on somebody's personal project, especially if I can watch it for free. Now some of you might be wondering, if I prefer not to review web animation, why am I reviewing one today? The answer is quite simple. I want to give this series some exposure. For those of you who don't know, when Cliffside was first uploaded, it got pretty famous. For a little while. After that, it more or less faded into the background, and now hardly anybody talks about it. As such, the point of this review is to shed a bit of light on this web animation, and hopefully to make more people aware of it. So I should probably give a bit of backstory on it, shouldn't I? Cliffside is a cartoon with a western meets creature feature theme. A pilot episode was uploaded to YouTube on May 20th, 2018 by its creator, Liam Vickers. He originally created Cliffside as a proof of concept so that he could get practice writing, designing, and animating TV episodes. As for the idea behind the series, Liam originally conceived of it while he was on a dreary winter trip to Yosemite National Forest. Apparently, Liam and a friend of his had spent some time speculating what kind of bizarre creatures lived in the cliffs above the forest. And that's all the information I could find on this video's concept and creation. Seriously, apart from an offhand comment by Liam about how the series' creature design was based around how they could navigate rocky cliff faces, there was scant else that he said about the series' inception. Well, seeing as we're done with that, I might as well move on to the video's cover. Or rather not, as all this video has is a YouTube thumbnail. A damn fine thumbnail to be sure, but let's face facts, half of you already know this image is amazing, while the other half just want me to get on with it. So I will. Cliffside starts, as most westerns do, on a dark and stormy night.
This is Cliffside.
I'd sure hope so, otherwise the title of this review would be pretty misleading. Oh, the population's 21. That's just 3 shy of the meaning of life. So about the average population of any old western town. Although, seeing as the town is currently under attack by amazingly animated monsters, that number might just start decreasing. Or maybe not, seeing as the narrator is going on about how the town's inhabitants are some of the most hard-boiled outlaws around, so they probably know how to defend themselves. Say, just who is this narrator anyway?
It was me.
Oh, hello there. Waylon.
I'm 2-Bit Jerry.
Bullshit! Your name's Waylon and you know it!
I'm 2-Bit Jerry.
Seriously, dude? Look, even if I believed that you had such an obviously made-up name, this girl calls you Waylon not half a minute later.
Waylon, my dad needs you.
This is Joe Constance, the only character, so far, to have a surname. Huh, those monsters are still attacking the town, aren't they? Seems like somebody should do something about that.
I said be gone!
Waylon, you fool! That's how you get rid of thoughts, not shadowy Walmart monsters!
Uh-oh, forgot they could do that.
How? It's because he's an idiot, isn't it?
Just like you, dumbass.
Anyway, while trying to fall back to a more defensible position, Waylon and Joe find themselves surrounded.
I'm, out of bullets.
Same.
What's important is we fight to the— Wait, what? Nice. I'm a better shot than I thought.
You do realize Joe only shot the ones she was facing, right? Hell, we can clearly see one of the monsters that you were facing before creeping up on you. I don't know about you all, but it's pretty clear to me that somebody can't quite grasp the concept of object permanence. I'm sure he'll learn how it works sooner or later.
Secretly, I haven't learned a thing. Oh my god, the other one's coming!
Okay, forget about sooner. At this rate, it'll take Waylon years to figure out that things he stopped looking at don't just up and cease to exist. Anyway, as Waylon is being mauled, we are given the title card. Then suddenly we're in a western about pine cones. What? Oh wait, it's just Waylon slacking off. Yeah, turns out the town of Cliffside is surrounded by monsters, and Waylon has to stand watch in case any of them come creeping around. He was presumably given this job because everybody in town was getting sick of him making outrageous claims.
I once shot a man just for looking at me wrong. Then I shot him again for dying.
Cool story, bro. Regardless, Waylon does kinda need his gun. And seeing as the lighting just got more monochromatic, and the atmosphere more foreboding, I'm sure absolutely nothing bad will happen to him. And after stumbling backward into more webbing, and being yanked upward, Waylon is knocked unconscious, and wakes up in a giant spider web. And I think now would be a great time to talk about how good this video looks. I haven't talked about it nearly as much as I should have, but everything about this animation's aesthetic is both animated well and looks beautiful. Not only that, but the design of the art has a lot of range when it comes to tone and feel. For instance, the vast majority of the animation evokes a creepy, sometimes horrific, ghost town / creepy forest tone. And yet, Waylon's pinecone fantasy is all but a perfect representation of the standard Western aesthetic, and the character design for the series, especially for the human characters, are a lot more rounded and jovial than the eerie tone of the backgrounds. Yet, in spite of those differences, nothing in this video feels out of place or drastically sticks out. That is, unless it was supposed to stick out drastically, but that's something I'll come back to later. But what about this scene in particular makes me want to talk about the artwork? Put simply, it's friggin' beautiful! Seriously, just looking at this imagery is enough to leave anybody with a sense of both awe and fear. Awe, because of just how gorgeous it looks. Fear, because seriously, a spiderweb that size is not a good sign of anything other than your impending doom. Something Waylon is currently having to cope with. Although things might not be too bad, as it seems there is a lady sitting in a tree who might just be able to help Waylon out. Ah! What in Matt Newey's name is that?! Anyway, this is how we are introduced to the third protagonist of the series, Cordy. Fun fact, the original concept art for Cordy had her clothing based more so on a nondescript Native American design, as opposed to the Puritan-era milkmaid outfit she currently sports. Personally, I endorse this change, as not only does this outfit make Cordy even more creepy, but I also find Puritan-era clothing to be all around scary. I mean, seriously, what the fuck are these designs?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh, while we're on the subject of Cordy's design, I should point out that the reason she has claws instead of more traditional spider appendages is because of the whole cliff-dwelling creature design thing I mentioned earlier. The thought process being that she may have to use them more like ice picks when climbing rock surfaces that have frozen over or are too wet to cling to. But enough of that. How's Waylon doing? Oh right, he's about to see Cordy eat an entire crust.
For my eyes.
Well, I started out afraid, but that right there, that was funny.
No, it wasn't. It was horrifying.
Uh-huh. Keep telling yourself that.
I'm going to eat you now.
cut it out. I'm 2-Bit Jerry, the most dastardly outlaw there is. I once shot a sheriff just because I was grumpy from shooting sheriffs all day.
Oh please, like anybody would believe that.
Really?
Alright, apparently Cordy's dumber than Waylon. Now that that's established, where do we go from here? Well, Waylon tries taking advantage of Cordy's lack of intelligence and interest in his made-up persona to distract her, all while he uses one of his boot spurs to cut his way out of the spider web. Something a bit like classic mythological tales, where the hero distracts some creature through unorthodox means, either to escape from them or just straight up kill them. The difference here being that those mythological heroes typically didn't follow up their success by falling Looney Tunes style from several feet in the air.
Ouch. But more importantly,
Surprise, motherfucker.
Apparently Cordy isn't just part spider, she's also part cat. And then this pterosaur zombie thing, named Yanis, shows up.
Well, what do we have here?
What have we here? I'll tell you what we have here. It's an animation error. 'Cause right now Yanis is talking, but that mouth ain't moving. And before you ask, no, nothing like this ever happens again during the cartoon. Be it an animation not working properly, or Yanis's jaw freezing up. This right here is by all accounts a one-off fluke in an otherwise perfect piece of art. Also, she's friends with death itself. I'm not kidding.
Nice.
Anyway, Yanis is here to steal Cordy's lunch, threaten her life, tell her to go stand watch, and maybe shove her into a locker later. You know, stuff that most undead pterosaur bullies tend to do. But then this happens.
put a lid on it. She was gonna eat me just fine till you guys showed up. Did it ever occur to you maybe I can do more than just stand watch?
Well, somebody's clearly transferring personal issues. However, Yanis, like most bullies, doesn't take too kindly to being called out on her BS, so she takes Waylon and Cordy on a free skydiving trip. Wait, that doesn't sound so bad.
It's free because they don't have any parachutes, you moron.
Oh no. Well, things might still have a happy ending. I mean, we haven't seen Joe for, a little while. Maybe she'll turn up and save them.
Epic pouting maneuver.
Or maybe not. Well, Waylon and Cordy might about to be of the dead, but at least their deaths are accompanied by Yanis's rockin' leitmotif. And it isn't just this song. Cliffside's entire OST is fantastic, and you can listen to each song on Liam Vickers' animation channel. Check the link in the description. Along with Yanis's theme, my personal favorites would have to be Claws, Standoff Time, the main theme, and Hive Minds Think Alike. Oh wait, the last one isn't actually part of the OST. It's actually a song from Liam's other channel, Scary Storytime with Liam. There are also a number of good music pieces on that channel. But be advised, There are a number of creepypasta videos on there as well, and I can't speak for their quality, as I'm a scared little baby boy. Hell, I get goosebumps reading the bio on SCP-3171 for crying out loud. So read at your own discretion.
Pussy.
Hey, aren't Waylon and Cordy about to die? Fortunately, Cordy is able to channel the power of bizarrely formed friendship to break the laws of physics, saving both her and Waylon's lives, and killing Yanis in the process. Although I should point out that Cordy was only able to do this because Waylon kind of, but not really, stood up for her. That, and she actually thinks Waylon is as cool as he says he is. Which he isn't.
I want to be just like you.
Are you sure about that?
Of course, Waylon just had to go and compliment her on the admittedly awesome breaking of physics she just did.
That, was pretty cool, what you just did there yourself.
I'll do it. Anything.
Okay, clearly I used the Law and Order meme too early, because Cordy is now making me scared for reasons I didn't think a spider-human hybrid would. Of course, Waylon is tonally oblivious, so naturally he agrees to train Cordy to be an outlaw. I'm gonna be honest with you, Liam. I can't tell which of them is more adorkably stupid. And that's why I love them. Anyway, in a montage, Waylon teaches Cordy how to not suck at using revolvers. Maybe she's more part ocelot than part cat. And then they're robbing the local bank.
Cordy, I didn't think we'd actually rob...
I see Joe has shown up with the local posse. And seeing as everybody but Joe is a nameless background character, and Waylon is still trying to figure out how that training montage got him to this point in life, this is really a fight between Joe and Cordy. And while Cordy might be awesome, she's also timid, so Joe is easily able to get her to back down. Although, Waylon and Cordy going to jail doesn't seem like that good of an ending. But I can't really see where this plot is gonna go without a beatable antagonist. I mean, they already killed Yanis and Death itself.
Well, not death itself. You can't kill death.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense.
That's kind of his whole thing.
Oh, alright then. I guess Death itself is the final boss now.
Wait, what?
Well, ain't that a spectacle? Speaking of, I really love these 3D arms that Death has. The way they stand out from the rest of the animation, almost clashing with it, really sells the idea that this iteration of Death is something that ascends above this reality, and that they aren't to be taken lightly. And yes, this is what I was hinting at back when I was talking about the rest of this video's animation, and said that the only things that drastically stick out are designed that way. But considering that Death itself is being all eldritch, what are our protagonists going to do? Well, nothing if Cordy has any say, as she is clearly enjoying this situation just a bit too much. Joe, however, insists that Waylon actually learn something from this.
Can I at least learn it in a standoff?
Make it fast.
Hey, Death! Why don't you pick on someone from your own metaphysical plane of existence?
Good luck with that, buddy. I've tried that before a bunch of times on my editor, and it's never worked.
That's because you need to learn your place, bitch.
Anyway, seeing as they can't actually kill Death itself, Waylon comes up with a plan or two. Plan A being to convince Death to become the town's new sheriff with... this reasoning.
Therefore, the moral of this episode is, if you validate someone enough, you can manipulate them into doing whatever you say. Good job, Death. Who's a good little Death? You are. You earned that sheriff star, didn't you? Please don't kill me.
Right! Plan B it is then.
You know, technically, you being our sheriff and protecting the town would mean less dead people and less work for you if you think about it.
Naturally, Death accepts. And so, with the day barely fixed, there's only one thing left to discuss.
Now, who wants to stand watch?
Are you kidding me? I'm way too cool for that now. Ow. I do.
Me too!
Spider-Girl isn't coming.
Liam! Joe is speaking blasphemy!
Hey Joe, by the way, if the sheriff position was open, what happened to the sheriff before Death?
I don't know. Shot. Culprit was never caught.
Fascinating.
What? You're telling me that Waylon actually did shoot the sheriff? What? I mean, what? I give Cliffside an 8 out of 10 objectively, and a 9 out of 10 personally. Cliffside is great. As I've already said, the art is really good and atmospheric, and it's capable of covering a wide range of tone. Likewise, the animation is also very good, especially on the creatures, with their movements being jarring and inhuman when they need to be, but still moving like an actual living animal a good majority of the time. But it isn't just the monsters, everything about this video flows and looks amazing. Honestly, the only problems I have with it are that aforementioned bit where Yanis comes down with Lockjaw, and Joe's lower legs. Yeah, if there is anything that I would suggest Liam redesign, it would be these, as they look just a bit too much like Rob Liefeld tried getting a job at Cartoon Network. But, apart from those two minor things, everything else is amazing, especially for a web animation. But that's just the art and animation. What about everything else? Well, you already know how I feel about the music. It is a gift. As for everything else, the story is great, the comedy is pretty good, the characters have fun designs, distinct personalities, and play off each other amazingly. Cordy being especially fun to watch, she's probably most people's favorite, and the voice acting only adds to how good these characters are. All that said, my favorite aspect of this has to be the genre. Not only is the concept of a Western meets creature feature series just an astonishing idea, but the fact that Liam can play up a somewhat Lovecraftian aspect of monster design while still making this series feel fun and child-friendly, it just speaks volumes about not only how good this concept is, but also how talented a storyteller and entertainer Mr. Vickers is, and I love it. So yeah, Cliffside is good, and you should go watch it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it now!
Do it, do it, do it.
Finger to the throat means death.